two people have now officially been detained, so arrested, in connection with the murder of Warrick Stock, better known to you and I as DJ Warras. He was shot outside a hijacked building in the Joburg inner city last week.
Imagine this: a beloved DJ, a familiar voice, a man many South Africans saw as fearless, gunned down in broad daylight. Not in some dark alley, not in the dead of night, but right there in the heart of Johannesburg's CBD, where people walk, cars pass, and life moves on. Captured on camera. Every step, every movement, every second leading up to the fatal shots. But then, the footage that could crack this case wide open, the footage that could expose the killers, the footage that could finally bring justice, vanishes into thin air. No screenshots, no clips released to the public, no freeze frames, nothing. So we have to ask ourselves, is this justice delayed or justice deliberately buried? Because when evidence disappears, when suspects don't match descriptions, when arrests raise more questions than answers, you're left wondering, are we watching an investigation unfold, or are we watching a cover-up in real time? Tonight, we pull back the curtain. Sawubona, everyone. Welcome back to Mzansi PoliScope, your go-to channel for diving deep into the stories that shape our nation. Here on this channel, we don't just skim headlines or repeat press statements. We dig, we question, and most importantly, we demand accountability. Today, we're unpacking one of the most shocking crimes of 2025, the murder of Warrick Stock, better known to millions of South Africans as DJ Warras. A man who wasn't just a DJ, not just a media personality, but someone who stepped into dangerous spaces where most people wouldn't dare. Now, before we go any further, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and become part of the Mzansi PoliScope family. Because the conversations don't end when the video ends, they continue in the comments. And I want you to know this up front. We don't take sides here. We don't push agendas. We follow the facts, even when those facts make people uncomfortable. So, settle in, because what you're about to hear raises serious questions about policing, justice, and power in South Africa today. Let's get into it. Let's set the scene. It's Tuesday, December 16, 2025, a regular afternoon in Johannesburg's bustling CBD. Cars are moving, people are walking, street vendors are calling out to passers-by. Life as usual. DJ Warras, Warrick Stock, pulls up and parks his car outside the Zambezi building, just a short distance from the iconic Carlton Centre. This wasn't a casual stop. This wasn't a social visit. The Zambezi building was one of many hijacked inner-city buildings, properties overtaken by syndicates, riddled with crime, exploitation, and fear. And this building mattered. Warras's security company, Imperium Ops, had been contracted to protect it. They were actively enforcing protection orders, challenging illegal occupants, and pushing back against criminal networks that thrive in Johannesburg's neglected spaces. This was dangerous work that made enemies. Warras knew the risks. He had reportedly received death threats, warnings to back off, warnings to stop interfering. But he didn't stop. Moments after parking, everything changes. 3 suspects approach. Not rushing, not panicking. One of them, described by witnesses as a short man with dreadlocks, dressed in what appeared to be a security-style uniform, pulls out a firearm. No argument, no struggle. Just gunfire. Multiple shots ring out. DJ Warras is hit several times and collapses right there on the pavement, in full view of the public, in broad daylight. The attackers flee on foot, disappearing into the city. They leave behind spent cartridges, silent evidence of what just happened. And here's the detail that changes everything. Nothing is stolen. Not his firearm, not his wallet, not his valuables. This was not a robbery. This was an execution. Eyewitnesses are left stunned, some frozen in shock, others too afraid to speak. Families in the area later help clean the blood from the ground, a haunting image that still lingers. And all of this, every movement, every second, was captured on CCTV. Or at least, that's what we were told. So we were told. In the immediate aftermath of DJ Warras's murder, police moved quickly, at least in front of the cameras. Gauteng police spokesperson Major General Fred Kekana steps forward to brief the nation. And what he says is chilling. Police, he claims, are in possession of clear CCTV footage that shows 3 suspects involved in the killing, footage that captures the shooter, the man with distinctive dreadlocks, clearly. According to early reports, the footage even shows one suspect handing over a plastic bag believed to be the firearm used in the execution. This isn't grainy. This isn't unclear. We're told it's crystal clear. So naturally, South Africans expect to see it. Because in a city drowning in violent crime, a city with over 300 hijacked buildings, releasing that footage could be a game changer. Faces could be recognized, clothing identified, movements tracked. The public could help. But the footage never comes. Not a still, not a blurred screenshot, not even a short clip. Nothing. So, days pass. Social media waits, newsrooms wait, eyewitnesses wait, and still, silence. Then, National Police Commissioner General Fanny Masemola steps in. He assures the country that police are making progress. He promises a breakthrough by the weekend. He mentions a known suspect already under investigation. Hope flickers. But once again, no CCTV release, no explanation, no transparency. Then, in the early hours of Monday, December 22nd, police conduct a 2 a.m. raid at Morafe Hostel in Soweto.
2 people have now officially been detained, so arrested, in connection with the murder of Warrick Stock, better known to you and I as DJ Warras. He was shot outside a hijacked building in the Joburg inner city last week. We're told he was in that part of town visiting a building where his private security company was doing work. Earlier today, the National Police spokesperson Linda Mati confirmed that there were people taken into custody for questioning. Now, breaking news tonight, confirmation that 2 people have now officially been arrested in connection with the murder of the popular media personality. We are hoping to get you more from the SAPS on that breaking news story tonight. So just to confirm, 2 people officially arrested now in connection with the murder of DJ Warras.
2 individuals are taken in for questioning. By Tuesday, the announcement drops. They've been charged with premeditated murder. On paper, it sounds like progress. It sounds like justice moving forward. But scratch the surface and cracks immediately appear. Because here's the question no one in authority seems to be willing to answer. If you had clear CCTV from day one, if you knew exactly what the suspects looked like, why didn't the public see it? And more importantly, how do arrests suddenly happen without the evidence that was supposedly at the heart of the case ever being shown?
Victor Majola limped into the dock as court proceedings got underway. He was ordered to remove his hooded jacket after attempting to shield his face from public view. His physical condition immediately drew attention in a courtroom filled with members of the public and media, many closely following developments in the high-profile.
This is where the story takes a sharp turn. The 2 suspects arrested during that early morning Soweto raid are identified. One of them is Victor Mtetwa Majola. The second suspect's name is not made public. They appear before the Johannesburg Magistrates Court on Christmas Eve, December 24. A day usually reserved for family, celebration, and reflection, instead marked by shock and confusion. Majola stands in the dock, and immediately something feels off. Because the man facing the court looks nothing like the shooter described by eyewitnesses, nothing like the suspect police told us was captured on CCTV. There are no dreadlocks, no resemblance to the man described as wearing a security-style uniform. Despite this, Majola is formally charged with premeditated murder. The magistrate postpones the case to January 6, 2026, allowing time for a formal bail application. Until then, Majola will remain behind bars, spending Christmas and New Year in custody. But here's the first red flag. Charges against the second suspect are provisionally withdrawn. Just like that. No explanation, no public clarification. One suspect walks free, at least for now. Then comes the moment that sends shockwaves across the country. Police confirm what many had already suspected. The two men arrested are not the three suspects allegedly captured on CCTV. Let that sink in. The dreadlocked shooter still at large. The accomplices still unknown, still free. So naturally, the question explodes online and in newsrooms. How are these arrests linked to the murder at all? Police are asked directly. In an interview with SABC News, officers refuse to give details. They cite ongoing investigations. They insist that evidence connecting Majola to the murder will be revealed in court. But the damage is done. Public trust begins to crack.
Yes, it is the two who were taken in during the early hours of today around 2 a.m. So they were interviewed and the police certified, the investigating team has certified themselves that they can be linked to the murder and they will be charging them with murder. For now, they have been detained.
As far as they link to the killing of Warrick Stock, are these two people in custody among the three who were caught on CCTV camera on the day of the murder?
At this stage, I would say that, the two that approached Warrick, they are not the three that approached Warrick, they are not part of those three. So those people are still out there and the police are still looking for them.
So how do these two then fit into the picture?
Those are the things that will be ventilated in court, but we are satisfied that these people are part of our murder investigation and they will be charged with murder.
May I ask what it was during their interviews that confirmed the suspicions of the police that they were indeed involved?
Remember, when the police do their investigation, there's certain evidence that they look at. There's technological evidence, there's evidence which was found on the scene. There's a lot of evidence that they look at, and one of those evidence certified what the police were suspecting, that these two were involved, hence they have been arrested.
Does their arrest, Brenda, bring us closer to the capture, the detention of the three then who have been placed on the scene via video footage from last Tuesday?
The investigating team is confident that they are closing in on the gunmen.
Do we know where they are? Do you have any suspicion as to their movements currently? Because I don't know if you saw last week there was some reporting that in fact one of them may have returned to the scene in the hours subsequent to the shooting while people were gathered, in fact.
The police, the team that is investigating, remember, it comprises of crime intelligence, the DPC's provincial tracking team, as well as the serious and violent crime investigations. They know who they are looking for and they are confident that they will be making those arrests.
And just to recap then, these two who've been arrested officially tonight, they will appear in court on Wednesday. What charges will they face?
They are now going to be charged with murder and there is a possibility of additional charges being conferred upon them as and when they appear in court. So they will be appearing at the Johannesburg Magistrate Court on the 24th.
If the evidence is strong, why hide it? If the real shooters are still out there, why present these arrests as a breakthrough? Are these suspects accomplices, getaway planners, or something else entirely? And if police genuinely have solid proof, why does everything about this case feel so deliberately vague? This isn't closure. This is confusion. And for many South Africans, it feels eerily familiar. As the confusion surrounding the arrests wasn't enough, another disturbing development emerges, this time from inside the courtroom itself. During his appearance in the Johannesburg Magistrates Court, Victor Mthethwa Majola makes a shocking allegation. He tells the court that he was assaulted while in police custody. Not whispered, not implied, stated openly. Majola claims the injuries are serious enough that he needs medical attention immediately. Right there in court, he asks to be examined by a doctor. The courtroom goes quiet, because allegations like this carry weight. Now, let's be very clear. An allegation is not a conviction. It still needs to be tested and proven. But in South Africa's context, claims of police brutality cannot be brushed aside. We've seen this story before. Suspects injured in custody, explanations delayed, investigations promised, and sometimes never concluded. Majola's claim adds yet another layer of unease to an already uneasy case. Was force used during interrogation? Was there pressure to produce answers quickly? Was there a desperate rush to show progress in a high-profile murder? These are fair questions, not accusations, and they matter. Adding to the unease are reports suggesting Majola is a first-time offender. If true, it raises another uncomfortable question. Does he fit the profile of someone capable of orchestrating or executing a professional hitman-style killing in the middle of Johannesburg CBD? Social media reacts instantly. Users start comparing photos, scrutinizing appearances, asking blunt questions. Where are the dreadlocks? When did he cut his hair? Why doesn't he match the description? Some draw parallels to the Senzo Mewi case, a case still haunting South Africa years later, marked by alleged mishandling, questionable arrests, and endless delays. And that's the fear. That DJ Warras' case may be heading down the same road. Now, let's focus on the eyewitness reports, the pieces of the puzzle that don't quite fit with the official narrative. Some witnesses report seeing one of the suspects from the CCTV footage actually returning to the scene, not as an assailant, but as a bystander, blending into the crowd, casually observing. Imagine the chilling scene. The killer circles back, people around him unaware. No one dares confront him because fear runs deep in Johannesburg CBD. In Johannesburg, fear isn't just a word, it's survival. And yet, many witnesses remain silent. Some are too terrified to speak, some are unsure if this man is armed, and some simply want to go home alive. This silence has fueled a surge of cover-up theories online. Option 1, perhaps the police are protecting powerful players. Maybe syndicates controlling hijacked buildings have connections that reach higher than expected. Minister Gayton McKenzie has claimed that Warras was targeted because of evictions, suggesting political or economic motives behind the murder. Option 2, maybe the CCTV isn't as clear as police claim. Maybe the footage implicates someone too influential to publicly expose. Or maybe it was tampered with, intentionally or unintentionally, leaving the public in the dark. Option 3, these arrests could simply be scapegoats, meant to calm public outrage while the real masterminds slip away undetected. Remember, DJ Warras was fighting a battle beyond himself. He was fighting urban decay, reclaiming hijacked buildings for safety, standing against criminals who thrived in Johannesburg's neglected spaces. His death is more than a tragedy. It's a spotlight on South Africa's crime crisis. Hitman-style killings, corruption, fear. And if you think the media stops there, think again. The misinformation flood is real. AI-generated videos, fake news channels, and conspiracy content are spreading online at lightning speed. Some claim the police are lying. Others claim the CCTV is fake. Some even allege syndicate involvement at the highest levels. We're left with a single question. Who can you trust? Here on Mzansi PoliScope, we don't chase theories for clicks. We chase facts and we ask the tough questions. Because the truth doesn't always sit neatly on the surface.
Let's zoom out for a moment, Mzansi. DJ Warras' murder isn't just a story about one man. It's a mirror reflecting deeper problems in our cities. Johannesburg alone has over 300 hijacked buildings, abandoned, neglected structures that have been taken over by criminal networks. Inside these buildings, reports suggest illegal operations thrive. Unsafe living conditions, extortion, exploitation. Warras' company, Imperium Ops, had discovered firsthand the criminal activity hidden within these walls. Syndicates posing as building committees, residents forced to pay for protection or rent under threat, children and families living amid fear and violence. After Warras' death, the city of Johannesburg launched enforcement operations, removing non-payers and questioning suspects. A step in the right direction, but is it enough? Is it enough when the real power behind these operations remains unchallenged? And beyond the buildings, consider the wider impact. Warras' funeral drew tributes from media personalities, music icons, and activists. It was a testament to the life he led, the battles he fought, and the influence he had on the community. Yet the justice system moves slowly, and for many, slow justice feels like no justice at all. This is where you, the PoliScope fam, come in. Because demanding accountability isn't just the role of journalists or police. It's a role for everyone watching, every citizen concerned with the state of our cities. Ask yourself, are we tolerating urban decay? Are we letting hijacked buildings continue as hubs for crime? Are we accepting deaths like Warras' as inevitable? The case of DJ Warras isn't only about him. It's about public safety, systemic corruption, and the accountability of those in power. It's about understanding that every action or inaction has consequences that ripple through communities. So, as we dive into the final sections, keep this in mind. The questions we ask, the debates we spark, they are part of holding our cities, our leaders, and our justice system accountable. Because justice doesn't just happen. It's demanded, and it's up to all of us to demand it. So, what do you think, PoliScope fam? Is this truly a police cover-up? Did the authorities mislead the public about the CCTV footage? Are these arrests legitimate or just smoke and mirrors to quiet an outraged nation? And here's the bigger question. Who really ordered the hit? Was it building syndicates protecting their hijacked empires? Rival criminals, or something even more sinister lurking behind the headlines? We want to hear your theories. Drop them in the comments below. Be detailed, be bold. Let's get a massive debate going, Mzansi PoliScope style. If this story left you shocked, outraged, or demanding answers, share this video with friends, family, and anyone who cares about justice. Hit the like button if you're stunned by what happened, and make sure to subscribe so you never miss a deep dive into the issues shaping South Africa. Remember, this isn't just a story about DJ Warras. It's about safety, accountability, and justice in our cities. It's about ensuring the next high-profile case doesn't slip through the cracks. We break it down, we ask the questions others won't, and we make sure you, the viewers, are part of the conversation. Stay vigilant, informed, and ready to question. Because in South Africa today, that's more than a responsibility, it's a necessity. From all of us here at Mzansi PoliScope, thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay curious, and until next time, asijiki.